Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are doing well and preparing with full focus for your exams. In today's video, I'm going to share the UG, degree, first semester, first language, English summaries for your November-December 2025 exams. Now, on your screen, you will see the summaries of each unit displayed one by one. First summary is Sonnet 30 William Shakespeare Summary. Sonnet 30 by William Shakespeare is one of his most touching and emotional sonnets. It talks about memory, loss, sadness, and the power of friendship. The poem is written in the form of a personal reflection, where the poet thinks deeply about his past and shares his feelings honestly. The poem begins with the poet saying that when he sits quietly to think about his life, sessions of sweet silent thought, he remembers old sorrows and losses. He feels sad for the people he has lost and for the mistakes he made in the past. These memories make him emotional, and he feels as if he is crying over those losses once again. He compares his memories to a courtroom session, where he acts as both the judge and the one being judged. In his mind, he replays all the painful moments, missed opportunities, broken friendships, and forgotten dreams. Each time he remembers them, the pain feels new again, like reopening an old wound. The poet says that time cannot heal these emotional scars easily. He even mourns for things that he has already mourned before, showing how deeply he feels his past sorrows. But there is hope and joy at the end. In the last few lines, the tone of the poem changes from sadness to hope and comfort. The poet says that whenever he thinks about his dear friend or beloved, all his sadness disappears. The sweet memory of friendship or love brings him peace and happiness. It's like sunshine after a storm. This shows that true friendship and love have the power to heal emotional pain. No matter how many troubles one faces, the presence or memory of a loved one can bring joy, comfort, and strength back into life. Central idea message. The main idea of Sonnet 30 is that human memory can bring both pain and pleasure. Remembering the past can make us cry, but remembering someone we love can make us happy again. Shakespeare beautifully expresses how friendship and love can overcome sorrow and make life meaningful again. Easy to remember points. Theme: memory, loss, love, and friendship. Tone: sad at first, happy at the end. Message: love and friendship heal pain. Famous line meaning: thinking of a dear friend can erase all sorrows. Next summary is The Apology of Socrates Summary. The Apology of Socrates is not an apology in the modern sense of saying sorry. The word apology here means defense. It is a record of the speech given by Socrates, the famous Greek philosopher, when he was on trial in Athens. He was accused of corrupting the youth and not believing in the gods of the city. The essay was written by Plato, who was one of Socrates' students. Through this work, Plato shows Socrates as a brave, wise, and honest man who stood firm for truth and justice even when his life was in danger. Socrates' defense. Socrates begins by telling the judges that he is not a good public speaker but will speak the truth. He explains that his enemies have been spreading false rumors about him for years, saying that he teaches strange ideas and turns young minds against tradition. He defends himself by explaining his life's mission, to search for wisdom and truth. The Oracle of Delphi had once declared that Socrates was the wisest man in Athens. Socrates was surprised and tried to find someone wiser than himself. He questioned politicians, poets, and craftsmen, but found that, though they claimed to be wise, they actually knew very little. Socrates realized that his wisdom lay in knowing that he knew nothing. He believed that questioning and critical thinking were the best ways to reach truth. This made many powerful people angry because he exposed their ignorance. Facing the death sentence. When the court finds him guilty, Socrates refuses to beg for mercy or give up his beliefs. He calmly accepts the death sentence, saying that a good man should not fear death. He believes that death is either a peaceful sleep or a chance to meet great thinkers in another world. Both are good. He reminds everyone that it is better to die for truth than to live dishonestly. His courage and calmness inspire people even today. Message and moral. The main message of the Apology of Socrates is that truth, wisdom, and moral integrity are more valuable than wealth or fame. Socrates teaches us to stand for what is right, even if the whole world is against us. Easy to remember points. Author Plato. Hero Socrates. Accusations, corrupting youth, denying gods. Message, stand for truth, don't fear death, seek wisdom. Quote idea, true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. Next summary is The Solitary Reaper Summary. The Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth is one of the most beautiful and musical poems in English literature. It describes a simple yet powerful scene from nature, a young Highland girl working alone in the fields, reaping and singing as she cuts the crop. The poet is deeply touched by her song and captures this emotional moment in his poem. The poem begins with Wordsworth asking the reader to stop and listen to the sweet song of the solitary reaper. The girl is all alone in the valley, busy with her sickle, singing a sad and melodious tune. Her song fills the air and seems to touch the heart of anyone who hears it. The poet tells passers-by either to stop and listen or to move on quietly without disturbing her. Wordsworth compares her voice to the nightingale singing to weary travelers in Arabian deserts and to the cuckoo bird singing in the spring season. But he feels that the reaper's song is even more touching and soulful than both. Her song seems to rise gently in the air, spreading joy and peace all around the valley. The poet's feelings. The poet cannot understand the language of her song, but he feels its deep emotion. He imagines that she might be singing about sad events from the past, about battles or heroes, or perhaps about her personal sorrows. Whatever the theme, the music is so pure that it deeply moves his heart. Even after he moves away from the valley, the melody stays in his mind. The song becomes a lasting memory, echoing in his heart like a sweet dream. It shows how nature and human emotion are deeply connected, a key theme in Wordsworth's poetry. Central idea message. The central idea of The Solitary Reaper is the beauty of simple rural life and the emotional power of music. Wordsworth shows that a single natural moment, like hearing a girl's song, can touch the soul and remain unforgettable. The poem celebrates the connection between human emotions and nature's beauty, showing how both bring peace and inspiration to the human heart. Easy to remember points. Poet William Wordsworth. Setting, a lonely valley in Scotland, Highlands. Theme, beauty of music, nature, and human emotion. Tone, peaceful, emotional, reflective. Message, nature's beauty and simple life can fill the heart with joy and memory. Next summary is The Old Tiger and the Traveler Summary. The Old Tiger and the Traveler is a moral story from the Hitopadesa, an ancient Indian collection of fables written to teach wisdom and good conduct through simple stories. Like Panchatantra, it gives lessons about life, honesty, and cleverness using animals and humans as characters. This story is about an old tiger and a simple traveler, and it teaches an important moral: be careful of sweet words and false promises. The story. Once upon a time, there was an old tiger who lived in a forest. He had grown weak with age and could no longer hunt. One day, he found a gold bangle lying near a river. The tiger thought of a clever plan to use it to catch a victim for his meal. He began shouting loudly, "O kind people! I have a gold bangle. I will give it to anyone who needs it. I have realized my mistakes and now wish to do good deeds in my old age." A poor traveler happened to pass by and heard the tiger's words. When he saw the glittering bangle, greed entered his heart. He thought, "If I take that gold bangle, I can sell it and live a better life." The traveler was afraid at first, but the tiger continued to speak sweetly, saying, "Don't be afraid. I have given up killing. Come here, I will give you this gold bangle." Believing the tiger's kind words, the traveler slowly stepped into the muddy riverbank to reach the tiger. But as soon as he came close, he got stuck in the mud, and the tiger jumped on him and killed him. The moral and message. The story ends with the lesson that people should not be fooled by appearances or sweet talk. The traveler's greed made him forget common sense, and he lost his life. The moral is simple. Never trust your enemies or strangers easily. Think before acting, especially when something seems too good to be true. Central idea. The story warns us against greed and foolishness. It teaches that wisdom means being careful, alert, and using one's judgment instead of blindly trusting others. Easy to remember points. From the Hitupdesa, Ancient Indian Moral Tales. Characters: Old Tiger and Traveler. Moral: don't trust strangers or false promises. Theme: greed leads to danger, be wise and cautious. Message: think before you trust. Next summary is Frost at Midnight Summary. Frost at Midnight is one of the most beautiful poems written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, a famous romantic poet. The poem shows Coleridge's deep love for nature, peace, and his child. It also expresses his belief that God speaks through nature and that humans can learn from it. Setting of the poem. The poem begins on a cold winter night. Everything around the poet is silent and calm, and the frost is quietly forming patterns on the window pane. The poet sits alone near the fire while his baby son sleeps peacefully beside him. The stillness of the night makes Coleridge thoughtful. He feels the calmness outside is connected to his own mind. The poet describes how every sound feels louder in the silence. Even the crackle of the fire or the flutter of the frost seems like a voice of nature whispering to him. Poet's childhood memories. The peaceful scene reminds Coleridge of his own school days. As a boy, he studied in a strict boarding school, far away from his family. He often sat alone, daydreaming by the window and wishing to be free to play in nature, hear birds sing, and see the countryside. He remembers how he would imagine city sounds as the voices of spirits or friends from home, which shows how deeply he missed nature and human connection. Love for his son. As Coleridge looks at his sleeping baby, he feels happy that his son will not face the same loneliness. He prays that the child will grow up close to nature and learn directly from it. He believes that nature is the best teacher, as it teaches purity, peace, and closeness to God. The poet wishes that his son's heart will always remain innocent and full of love. Central idea. The poem connects nature, memory, and spirituality. It shows how quiet moments can lead to deep thoughts about life and God. Coleridge expresses his faith in nature as divine and healing. Easy to remember points. Poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Theme: peace, nature, childhood, God, and parental love. Setting: a quiet winter night. Mood: calm, reflective, and loving. Moral: nature connects humans with God and teaches true wisdom. Next summary is Mr. Sherlock Holmes summary. The story Mr. Sherlock Holmes introduces one of the most famous detectives in English literature, Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This story helps readers understand Holmes' sharp intelligence, his methods of solving mysteries, and his friendship with Dr. John Watson, who is also the narrator. Meeting of Holmes and Watson. The story begins when Dr. Watson, a doctor who has returned from war, is looking for a place to stay in London. A friend introduces him to Sherlock Holmes, who is also searching for a roommate. Both men agree to share an apartment at 221 B. Baker Street, which later becomes the famous address in detective stories. Watson soon notices that Holmes is a very unusual man. He spends his time doing experiments, studying different subjects, and observing people carefully. But Watson cannot understand what kind of work Holmes actually does. Holmes' amazing powers of observation. Watson becomes more curious about his new friend. Holmes seems to know everything just by looking at people. For example, he can guess someone's job, habits, and recent actions without asking a single question. One day, Holmes reveals that he is a consulting detective, a person who helps the police and private people to solve difficult cases using logic, observation, and scientific methods. This surprises Watson, as he has never met anyone like Holmes before. Example of Holmes' intelligence. To show his skill, Holmes quickly deduces many facts about Watson, that he has been in Afghanistan, that he is a doctor, and that he has recently faced trouble. Watson is shocked because every detail Holmes says is correct. Holmes explains that he simply observed small clues, such as Watson's skin color, his manner of speaking, and his military bearing, and used pure reasoning. Central idea. This story gives us an introduction to Holmes' brilliant mind, Watson's admiration, and their unique friendship. Holmes represents the power of observation, logic, and reason, while Watson represents the common man's curiosity and loyalty. Together, they form one of literature's greatest detective duos. Easy to remember points. Author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Main characters Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson. Setting London, 221 B. Baker Street. Themes: observation, logic, friendship, intelligence. Moral: careful observation and logical thinking can solve any mystery. Next summary is I Taste a Liquor Never Brewed summary. The poem I Taste a Liquor Never Brewed by Emily Dickinson is one of her most joyful and imaginative poems. It describes the poet's deep love and excitement for nature, using the image of a person who is drunk but not on alcohol, rather on the beauty of the natural world. A unique kind of drunkenness. In the first line, Dickinson says she tastes a liquor never brewed. This means she is drunk on something that no one has ever made. It's not real alcohol, but the pure happiness she feels from nature. The liquor here is a metaphor for her spiritual joy and love for life. She says that even the best beer made by men cannot compare to the natural beauty around her. She becomes drunk not by drinking from a bottle, but by breathing the air, seeing flowers, feeling sunlight and enjoying the summer breeze. Her joy in nature. The poet imagines herself as a tipsy bee or butterfly that drinks the sweet nectar from flowers. But unlike them, she says she will never stop enjoying nature, even when others, like bees and butterflies, go home tired at the end of the day. This shows her deep connection to the natural world and how her happiness is endless. She continues to say that she will keep drinking the beauty of nature until the angels in heaven lean out of their windows and watch her in amazement. Even the saints in heaven, she says, will smile seeing her love for nature. Meaning and message. This poem celebrates the beauty of nature and the joy of being alive. Emily Dickinson uses the image of being drunk to show that true happiness doesn't come from material things or alcohol, but from the natural world and spiritual peace. Her excitement is innocent and pure. It shows a person who finds heaven on earth just by observing nature. Easy to remember points. Poet Emily Dickinson. Theme: joy of nature and spiritual happiness. Central idea: the poet feels drunk on the beauty of nature, not on alcohol. Tone: joyful, imaginative, and full of wonder. Moral: true happiness lies in loving and enjoying nature, not in material pleasures. Next summary is To Build a Fire Summary. The short story To Build a Fire by Jack London is about a man's struggle to survive in the freezing cold of the Yukon during winter. It is a story of man versus nature, showing how nature's power can defeat even the strongest human if he ignores wisdom and experience. The man's journey. The story begins with a man traveling alone through the snowy wilderness of Yukon. He is going to meet his friends at a camp. The temperature is extremely cold, almost 75 degrees below zero. Although an old man had warned him not to travel alone in such dangerous weather, he doesn't listen. He believes he can handle it because he is confident and proud of his abilities. The man is accompanied only by his dog, a husky. The dog feels the danger of the freezing weather and doesn't want to go, but it follows its master unwillingly. The struggle for survival. As the man walks, his fingers and toes become numb. Suddenly, he falls through thin ice and his legs get wet, a deadly situation in that temperature. He knows he must build a fire immediately to dry himself and stay alive. He manages to build a fire once, but by mistake, snow from a tree branch falls on it and puts it out. Desperate, he tries again, but his fingers are so frozen that he can't hold the matches properly. His fear turns into panic. The dog watches him silently, sensing that something terrible is about to happen. The tragic end. In the end, the man becomes too weak to move. He realizes he will not survive. Finally, he freezes to death under a tree. The dog waits for a while, then leaves to find another camp where it can find warmth and food. Meaning and message. Jack London's story teaches us that humans should respect nature's power. Overconfidence and ignorance can lead to disaster. The man represents those who trust logic but ignore wisdom and instincts, while the dog represents instinct and survival sense. Easy to remember points. Author Jack London. Theme: Man versus Nature. Setting: Yukon, Canada, extreme winter cold. Moral: never underestimate nature, always respect experience and advice. Tone: serious, tragic, and realistic. Dear students, I hope these questions and tips help you feel more confident and well prepared for the exams. For other subjects' important questions, syllabus, model papers, quick revision videos, and academic updates, please check the video description All useful links are available there. If this channel has helped you in your studies or added value to your academic journey, please consider supporting it with a small donation. Your support will directly help me improve the quality of videos, tools, and study materials. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more helpful videos. All the best for your exam and your entire degree journey. Keep working hard and stay positive. See you in the next video. Take care and happy studying.